Artist. Okay, so we're going to try to graph now with transformation. So it's asking you to state the transformation and to graph the parabola. So what kind of transformation would you say we have for x squared plus 3? That's correct. So it's a vertical translation because that's a plus k. So it's a vertical translation, 3 units up. Do I have any other transformation happening here? No, right? That's it. Okay, so I stopped. That's it. That's all what you have to write. Now, to graph, what do I need to know? What do I need to start with? The vertex. And what's my vertex here? So the vertex is 0, 3. And I need to know the step pattern. What's the step pattern? I know it's 1, 3, 5, right? There is no a value to affect it, right? Okay, so that means I'm going to have to locate my vertex, and I'm going to have to graph my next points. So my vertex is at 0, 3. So it's right here. And then where do I go from that point? So it says in the step pattern, I have to go up 1 over 1. So that takes me to this point. Right? Remember, I go up 1 over 1 to both sides, to the right and to the left. Then I have to go up how much from that point? Up 3 over 1. So up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then I have to go up 5 over 1, but I won't be able to do that because I don't have room. So this is enough for me to be able to graph the parabola. Something that I'm missing some points on the graph. So make sure you always have values on your x and y axis. Okay, just a recap, we're going to locate our vertex first. So we're going to locate where the vertex is, and then we're going to use the step pattern to plot the other points. Are we okay with this? Do we know how to find the vertex? No. So remember that with the transformation, right? Because you have x plus 2, right? That 2 represents the y value of the vertex, okay? The x value is going to stay 0. There's nothing happening because I have a vertical translation, right? So I'm going up 2, okay? So my vertex is 0, 2. So in this case, whatever is added or subtracted to the x squared, that's going to be the y value of the vertex, and then the x value is going to be 0. Nothing's happening to that part. Now, is everyone okay with it? All right, so let's look at the next graph. So I have, next one is x squared minus 2. What kind of transformation do I have? What's my transformation? So what's happening to the graph? Vertical translation, 2 units down. Right? Why is it 2 units down? Because it's a minus 2. What's my vertex? 0, negative 2. Yeah? What's the step pattern? Does it change? It does not change because what makes the step pattern change? What value? A, which comes right after x squared, right? But I don't have that here. So it's going to be 1, 3, 5. Now when I'm graphing my x and y axis, I'm going to have to kind of think about where my vertex is, which way am I going, okay? My vertex is at 0, -2, so I need some space under the x-axis. But because it's opening up, I need more space on the top, okay? So that means when I graph my x and when I put my x and y axis, I'm going to leave some room at the bottom just to have that -2 there. So it's going to be right here. That's my vertex. And where do I go from there? Up how much? Up 1 over 1, so that gives me my next 2 points. Then up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then let's see if I can fit the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can fit the next one, so it's going to be right here. Any questions about this? So far what we have covered the vertical stretch and compression yesterday, and we have covered the vertical translation today. We still have the horizontal translation. Can I move to the next slide? So what do you notice here about the new formula? So it's y equals x minus h squared. What do you notice? What's the difference between this and what we have seen so far, which is y equals x squared plus k? Where is that h located? Inside the bracket under the square, right? So it's inside the bracket under the square, right? It's inside the bracket with the x, and that's why it's going to affect the x-axis, okay? Because it is with the x inside that bracket, okay? So whenever you see a number added or subtracted inside the bracket with the x and then squared, you know it's going to be a horizontal translation. Okay, which means it's going to move right and left. Okay, now before we start right or left, we're gonna take out decimals and then we're gonna start graphing. Okay, so we're gonna graph y equals x squared, and then we're gonna start graphing the other ones as well. So let's go to decimals. I'm gonna clear these ones. So y equals x minus 2 squared. How can you change the color? Can I change the color? All right. What happened? What happened to the graph? It moved to the right. How many units did it move to the right? 2 units. What's the new vertex? 2, 0, right? So the vertex right here is 2, 0. Question for you. So look at the equation, right? What is inside that bracket? It's x plus 2 or minus 2? It's minus 2. But which way did it move? To the right. So whatever you see inside the bracket, right, in order for you to be able to find what's going to happen to it, you're going to actually have to take it outside the bracket. So basically, the reason why this happens is because you are setting that x minus 2, you're setting it equal to 0, right? And then bringing the minus 2 over so it becomes x equals to 2. Okay? That's why it's moving 2 to the right. Okay? So anytime you see it inside the bracket and then you see a negative, you know it's going to move to the right 2, positive 2. Okay? It's moving to the positive and your vertex is going to be 2, 0. It's opposite to what you see only inside that bracket. A lot of students have problem with this, seeing this, visualizing this. Okay? So what would be the next, what's the next one? X minus 4? So the next one is y equals x minus 4 squared. What do you expect to happen? It's going to move to the right 4. Where would your vertex be? 4, 0. Right? It's going to be at 4, 0. The x value is 4. The y value is 0. Okay? So let's try that. Let's graph it. Right? This is where we said it's going to be. This is where we said the vertex is going to be. Now, the vertex changed to 4, 0. Can you guys tell me what your axis of symmetry is for this one? X equals 4. That's right. How about for the blue one? What was the axis of symmetry? X equals 2. Okay? Now, what was the next equation? Y equals x minus 1, or x plus 1 squared? You guys have to help me, is it? Because I don't have the notes. Okay. So, what do you expect to happen right here? Where would you expect the graph to be? It's going to go to the left. How many units? 1 unit, and then the vertex is going to be negative 1, 0. That's right. There you go. Right? So your vertex is at negative 1, 0. Your axis of symmetry is negative 1. So it's opposite to what you see inside the bracket. Are you guys okay with this? Okay. So let's go back here and let's fill out that table. So the value of h, we call this letter h. So the value of h here is 2. It's not negative 2, it's 2. Okay? Which way is it opening? All of them. Up. What's the vertex? 2, 0. What was the axis of symmetry? X equals 2. Right? Remember, it's the same value as the x value of the vertex. And then, so we say, the other one was vertical translation. This is going to be horizontal translation. Okay? So this is going to be horizontal translation, 2 units to the right. What's the value of h in C? So it should be 4. Direction of opening is up. Vertex is 4, 0. The axis of symmetry is x equals 4. And I have a horizontal translation, 4 units to the right. Anyone have any questions about these? Next one's going to be negative 1. because it's x plus 1 squared, so it's going to be negative 1 as the h value. Again, it's opening up. The vertex is going to be negative 1, 0. X equals negative 1. And I have a horizontal translation, 1 unit to the left. And then my next one is going to be negative 3, up, vertex negative 3, 0, x equals negative 3, and a horizontal translation, 3 units to the left. When I ask you on the test or quiz or evaluation or whatever it is, or in the homework, when they ask you to state the transformation, they're expecting you to say horizontal translation, so many units to the left or right. Vertical translation, they're expecting you to write this down. So do not, when you see the question state the transformation, you need to understand what the question is asking you. Are we okay with that? All right. All right, so when h is greater than 0, the parabola is going to shift to the right. How is it going to look inside the equation? Is it going to look positive or negative inside the equation? It's going to be x minus 2. So this is an example of moving to the right? Because h in this case is 2. If h is less than 0, the parabola shift left. And then an example would be x plus 2 squared. The value of h describes the horizontal translation of the parabola. It provides the value of the x value of the vertex. And is the axis of symmetry. So for the next question, we're going to look at the equation. So the equation is y equals x plus 2 squared minus 3. Can you guys tell me what kind of transformation or transformations do I have here? Vertical translation, how many units? So which one is the vertical translation? The negative 3, right? Remember that whatever is outside the bracket, that's your vertical translation, right? So this is your vertical translation. This is the example that we did earlier, okay? Now, so this is my vertical translation. How about this? That's a horizontal translation. So let's write it down. So I have a vertical translation. What? Vertical translation, 3 units, which way? Down. Because it's negative, right? And vertical means up and down. How about the horizontal translation. What do I have? Horizontal translation. 2 units to the 2 units which way? To the left. Right? Because it's positive, that means it's the other way, it's the negative. Do I have any other transformation or translation or whatever they're called, transformations? Do I have any other transformations? Now we're going to have to talk about the vertex and the step pattern. But the vertex and the step pattern, they're not part of the transformation. They're just to help us graph. Okay? Now, what would be your vertex? So, if you go back, we had this, right? And the h was the x value of the vertex. Do you guys remember that? And then we had this, and k was the y value of the vertex. Do you guys remember that or no? Yeah? Okay. Now, if I have both of them, then h is going to be the x value of the vertex, and k is going to be the y value of the vertex. So what's my h here? -2. What's my k? -3. So my vertex is -2, -3. If you go back to a few lessons ago, like the second lesson that we did, I remember we did the different key features, and then in the vertex I told you it's going to be the letter HK, and I told you you'll see why. It's because of the transformation, the H and K. Okay, so whatever is with the X, that represents the H value of the vertex, which is the X value, and then whatever is -3, that's basically represented by K, or the Y value of the vertex. Okay, step pattern. Is it going to change from 1, 3, 5? Do I have an A value? Is there an A value right here? So it's 1, so it's not going to change. So my step pattern is going to be 1, 3, 5. Okay? So first thing you want to do, you want to locate your vertex. So I have to make sure that I have enough space. No. And then from the vertex, I'm going to go same pattern. Go up 1 over 1. So from the vertex, I'm going to go up 1 over 1, over to both sides. Then I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1. So the important part is to locate your vertex properly and then go with the step pattern. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to try to do the next question. And when you do that question, I want to check it. So you come and see me.